Right, let's go. Live, live, live. We are live with you right now. Another day. What's going on, beautiful people? How you doing? Where are you? What are you doing? I hope you're having a magnificent and wonderful day. It is Tuesday, February 11th, 20th episode of the Daily Clinic of Consultants Without Borders, where we show up to serve you and to make sure that you're empowered to have any and all tools necessary for you to experience the breakthroughs that you want to in your life. That is the entire idea of this show. We're not selling you anything here, and we're not actually trying to even hook you on anything. All we're trying to do is to try to sell you your own dream and how real it is. Don't give up on your own dreams. Please don't. Look at me, friend. Whether you experience your dream or not makes no difference to my life other than to know that one more human has stopped suffering and has started creating a conscious, crazy, kick-ass life the way you see it fit. And that's what the entire idea of this show is. So I've been speaking to a lot of great consultant friends of mine from around the world that just get literally paid tens of thousands of dollars for one day's worth of work. And we've been deciding to do this together, and I've been inviting a lot of them to come on this show and start sharing in real time with us actual strategies that we could use to leverage crazy amount of growth in our lives. Now, one of the foundational things that I want to share with all of you is the reality of technology and human ingenuity that you never want to bet against. Anytime in humanity on a greater macro scale, when you look at where we come from and everything that we have achieved, anytime anybody has ever bet against human ingenuity, they have lost. And I want to share with you that artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchain technology, and robotics, these are all human, literally bleeding edges of science when it comes to ingenuity. And what does that mean, that word? It just means ways for us to figure out to leverage technology to our own growth and for our own well-being. I want to invite you to please not be afraid of the technology. Don't be the people 100 years ago who were protesting against cars on the road because their horses and buggies were making them feel more comfortable. Don't be the people that refused to have the technology of mobile devices and internet onboarded and integrated into their lives personally and into their businesses, and today they're already relics of the past. Is it even possible to have no access to internet and be able to have a functioning business today? By all means, no. Can you survive? Really, no. Today, more than ever, we have people who are actually working remotely. Means doing things they were doing until 10 years ago, had to show up and get paid for their exchange of time for money. Now they get to do that at the comfort of their own spaces thanks to technology. So I want you to understand one of the only 4 pillars that we can use to leverage growth to our own advantage, and leveraging is you gotta become obsessed with leveraging, because with leveraging it essentially means you put a little bit of energy and you get a higher output of results to your favor. So there are 4 main leverages that is available to anybody to grow, and those 4 are code, content, capital, and collaboration. 4 critical pillars of growth. So if you want to grow in your own business, if you want to grow in your life or in your career, if you want to grow in your relationships, you only have these 4 ways of growing. Capital is money, code is literally technology, any way that we use any kind of automation or code such as ChatGPT, all of the things that we do to make our lives go faster and easier. Zoom technology, this very technology of connecting with each other through video. So this is another way, that's code. And then we have content. Contents are, in business sense, like procedures, systems, SOPs. And in our life, contents are literally contents. This is a content we are putting out. This is our way of contributing to our community, worth hundreds of dollars per hour, just so that whoever is ready for it, not everybody is, but if you're ready for it, if you want to embrace growth, if you want to break through, if you're ready to actually take your life to the next level, then this content is now available to you amongst billions of other contents for you to find the answers that you need within yourself. Because listen to this, my friend, a little surprise, nothing about what I'm telling you is news. All of it is just reminding you what you know, because we already have the answers to every question within ourselves. So many times we fight ourselves because we don't want to actually have to face the truth, even though we know the truth. And that's why there are events occurring in psychological states called internal conflicts. Internal conflicts are essentially any instance of moment where we have one belief within us that tells us to do something versus another belief within us that tells us not to do something. And there are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of these within all of us. A side of us wants to grow, a side of us wants to feel protected and not risk anything. Are these possible to happen at the same time? Can you be protected, comfortable the way you are, and also grow, which growth is what? Is explorations of new unknown horizons. It's risky. Yes, you might get hurt, but growth by virtue doesn't come without pain. However, suffering during the process of growth is 100% a choice. So this becomes very critical for us to understand. That's one of them, for example. Or for example, people who want to experience love and they don't want to be hurt. How do you even do that? How do you want to experience it? Or people that want to experience fun, but they don't want to have anything happen to them. So it's like saying, I want to go on a roller coaster, but I don't want to be afraid. You cannot have the fun of the speed, of the drop, of the roller coaster without having to face that fear of going up and feeling like, oh my God, I'm just about to go face down into earth and I don't know what's about to happen. They come hand in hand. They are the two different sides of the same coin. However, when left uncontrolled, then they become what's called conflicts internally. And the moment we have these internal conflicts, that means we become contemplative and we stop taking actions necessary and we start literally going in loops. There become destructive loops that prevent us from growth, from experiencing what it is that we want to experience, because another part of us doesn't want to experience those things. And the thing is, my friend, are you ready for this? Scientifically, by the time we are 35 years of age, 95% of the things we are thinking today, of the feelings we are feeling today, and the things we do or don't do today is the same as it was yesterday. Which means yesterday was the same as it was the day before. Which means by the time we are 35 years old, 95% of our days are like yesterday. Which means we are constantly living in a familiar past. And what happens when you constantly live in a familiar past today, like yesterday, the day before, and the day before? You can only expect a predictable future, because I could predict tomorrow is going to be 95% the same as today, because it was the day before as well. Which means we all want to change something about our lives, yet we don't even know where to start. And we just externally go, oh, I don't have a right partner. I don't have the right education. I don't have enough money. The combination of the thoughts that create the emotions, and the emotions that give us the ability to pull the trigger to do something or to actually not do something, which is still doing something, okay? The combination of all of these by the external world, society, anybody outside of us, is called our personality. So you know how you say, oh, this person has really good personality, I love them? That's because they think properly the way you like, they feel good internally the way you approve of. It doesn't mean that that's a right way or wrong way. It's just that's how you're approving of somebody, and the things they're doing or not doing you also approve of. So it doesn't mean that they have a good personality. It just means their 95% repetitive sets of thoughts, behaviors, and feelings are the same today as it was yesterday, and that predictability is good to humans because we want the certainty of the 6 basic human needs always the most. We want to be certain that we have some level of control and that we know how things are going to go, and we call that combination in other people their personality. Or how we say this person actually has, Mike's got shitty personality. Well, that's because Mike probably thinks really shitty stuff, in your opinion, and he feels really shitty, and then he does things or doesn't do that you are like, oh yeah, that's very shitty. I don't want to be around that energy. So that combination of personality in all of us, which is the same today as 95% yesterday, and it will be the day before, the day after, that set of personality creates our personal reality. Personal reality is what people call life. So when you say my life, you're essentially talking about your personal reality. Why do I say it that way? Because your personal reality, your life, the way you're experiencing it, is 100% different than how it is that your parents, who actually raise you, experience that same reality. And they call it their life. The funny thing is, there are people that live under the same roof, eating the same food, breathing the same air, drinking the same water. They experience, even as twins, completely separate realities. Why? Because their personal reality is shaped by their personality. I want you to understand this. When you want something to change in your personal reality, which is your life, if you want more money, if you want better health, if you want more success, if you want more profound relationships, if you want more meaning in your life, in your personal reality, you cannot be like a crazy person going and trying to attack their own shadow with a hammer, trying to make that tall shadow short. You can't do that. That's what we do when we are trying to actually fight with our external resources and people and community and anything we have available to us to change our lives. You see, people say, oh, this person's gone insane when they start talking to themselves. However, I will pitch to you a different meaning of insanity, because in the world that we live in as breakthrough consultants, and the only way you could do that is by being able to consistently create breakthroughs for yourself in your life, so that you could now be able to assist others to experience conscious, instant breakthroughs in their lives. The only way you could do that is by understanding that the word insanity means doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And I want you to click it out and snap it out if you're following what I'm saying. But that is what insanity is. And now imagine what percentage of the society is going insane. Everybody is in pain. Everybody is hurting somehow. Some people physically, some people psychologically, some people financially, some all of them. Most people emotionally suffering. Yet what are we all looking for in terms of solution to the pain? We're all looking for that magic pill that comes from the outside. I take it and it fixes everything. Because my personal reality, my life is just so crap that I'm helpless. And by the way, learned helplessness is a psychological known effect that is studied massive within human population. So I want to propose to you and invite you on a journey, on a challenge to be the best ultimate version of yourself. And I'm not selling you nothing. I have nothing to sell you. But just the promise of your own better future. You know why? And you know why I gotta do this and why everybody else who does what I do does what they do? It's because we are living in a duality, in a physical, scientific duality. You have the cold and then you have the hot. You have the bright, you have the dark. You have the love and you have the hate. You have the pleasure, you have the pain. You have the beauty and you have the ugly. There is always only two possibilities of every one thing. And then the thing is, the intersection of all these dualities in the center is the point of singularity. That's where the seat of consciousness, the experience of life, comes from. The rest, they're just stories that are ways that our reticular activating system of the brain picks out the patterns and defines them for us in terms of favorable or not. We just make it if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I have a question for you. Are there people right now on this planet Earth who are living in war zones and they're still getting married, having kids, and they're still having their night gathering? Yes, I hear the stories. I was actually grown and I was born in a country where it was in the middle of a war. So I know it happens. So see, the thing is, in the middle of war, humans still find to focus on things here and there so that they would give it the meaning of hope, the meaning of fulfillment and excitement, so they could live. Because you cannot consistently live in a state of just having no hope. Even people in jail during the World War II, all those poor souls that were sent to concentration camps, they still were living in hope of being freed. And if not them, they themselves, their future generations, by their sacrifices, hopefully learn the lesson and be freed. That hope is what keeps us alive. I want you to have hope and have faith. I want you to know that I need to drink water. It is beautifully 30 degrees here in Florida, sunny Florida, in the month of February, which is a blessing and an absolute just miracle to know where my hometown Canada, Toronto is. It's like minus 20. And instead of being there, I made the conscious choice with my partner 3 years ago that we didn't want to do that any longer. And while we are still in our 30s, we are getting to experience the traveling of the world and literally being so abundantly gifted with wealth and with health to be able to enjoy life. And that's why I'm advocating for you to do the same, to do what you desire, not to travel, but to do what you feel like you want to do. Like, why are you settling? See, the thing is, I'm a staunch believer that we are not able to actually receive anything in life, even when it's right in front of us. How many of you guys know somebody who's a spoiled brat, that they have access to whatever they want, yet that person is still upset at life and expecting more? The thing is, as receiving comes from the art of gratitude, not to God, not to something beyond you, but just being content and grateful for the breaths that you're taking. And these are the secrets of wealth and health. I'm not trying to sell you religion. I'm just talking to you scientifically. The fact that you're breathing right now is a miracle. Every second, there are 3 million cells in your body that are being replaced by replacing the old ones. Or 3 million cells every second that are being replaced by the new ones that your body is making. And here we are on top of this massive giant planet, which in this space it looks like a speck in a dust, being shot in just absolute pitch dark at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour into the unknown. And here I am feeling like this whole world revolves around me. Why is nobody paying attention to me? Why am I not getting what I want? Because I have so many expectations, instead of just sitting one moment, taking a breath, and saying, wow, I don't even need to think for my breathing to happen and for my heart to beat, or for 3 million cells within my body to actually replace itself. If you need to think about it, if you needed to think about it, you would have been done. We would have all been done within the first 2 hours. You would forget about one of them. So see, the same system, the same intelligence that is controlling all of this is the same intelligence that is also operating those 95% of the same thoughts, same feelings, and same doings on a day-to-day basis. It's called the subconscious part of your mind. There are so many studies on this. This is not a weird thing. This is not woohoo. There is like so many psychological studies. And by the way, now for the first time ever in the history of humanity, our science of studying psychology, human psychology, is at the same time reaching the same point as quantum physics is reaching, as some of the oldest textbooks on this planet from 7,000 years ago have been discussing. For the first time, we are coming to the point of consensus of humanity on what it is that everything comes from. The quantum physics calls it the quantum vacuum fluctuation. So it's the quantum vacuum. It's a dark matter. You see, 97% of the entire existence is not even three-dimensional or physical, available to touch or to see for humans. Only of all of existence, 3% of it, including all that we see, is solid matter. Now, when you think in terms of atoms, hold on and stay with me for a second. 99.9999999999999% of every atom is empty space, is just void. The electrons, protons, and neutrons that create this hard matter is just 0.000000000000000000001% of all of existence. So then a brilliant mind would ask, wait a second, if everything I could touch, I could smell, or I could see is 0.0000000, I think about there's like 19 zeros or something, 1% of everything, then that means we're just having that much of the experience with our 6 senses. The sensory perceptions that we experience as humans, as reality, are all experienced through 6 senses. Smelling, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and your intuition, which is your sense of knowing. It is a lot more powerful in women. It is a lot more powerful in mothers. Men, eh, I don't know if men even know what intuition means, especially masculine men. No fucking idea. Because they're so attached to the five that they could experience at will. Which brings us to what? The need for certainty. I need the certainty that I could be in control and experience what I want on demand. And since the five tastes, the five basic sensory perceptions are so easy to control, that's what we are understanding and kind of setting as the benchmark of our entire experience of reality, and completely ignoring the 99.9999999999999999999% of existence. Just focusing on us. And by the way, this is where it gets amazing. Even though we've been focusing obsessively on that like 0.000000001% for the past 2,000 years, we still don't even understand a single leaf of a tree or a single molecule of water. We still don't understand the mysteries of water. Water as plasma, water as liquid, water as gas, water as solid. It turns into every stage of existence in one element, and we still don't have enough information. We still do not understand the cells. We still do not understand anything. And we've been spending obsessively our attention scientifically for 2,000 years. Yet this is the amazing news. That's why I'm having this conversation with you. We are at a point of time where this singularity and the overlap of science, of psychology, of physics, of studies of consciousness, and of old teachings and the wisdom of humanity are meeting at a single point and agreeing for the first time, slowly but surely, that, oh my God, this is not the real thing. So literally, Schrödinger, the quantum physicist, proved in his famous cat experiment that existence happens only when it is observed. See, let me tell you this. In 2022, 3 scientists in the world, not 3 actually, there was about a group of 6 of them, but 3 studies, for the first time in 2022, were awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics. And do you understand when we give somebody a Nobel Prize? We give somebody a Nobel Prize when they create a breakthrough in our understanding of the nature of or the depth of any conversation at a so profound level that it changes our understanding of our life. That's when we give them a Nobel Prize. We say, hey, thank you so much. You did amazing for humanity. So these scientists in 2022 got rewarded with the Nobel Prize. You could all go and just Google this. Just Google the words that I'm going to share with you. And as a matter of fact, maybe why not? I will just do that for you so you could see this. We will actually do the local universe is not real. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to see it. There you go, my friends. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you could see exactly what I'm looking at, because I think a lot of people like to see with their own eyes. That's how humanity's been doing this. So let's just see with our own eyes. There we go. See with your own eyes what the Nobel Prize was given out for. The universe is not locally real. And the physics Nobel Prize winners proved it. Okay, guys, listen to me. I could go into the depth of this. I could go so far into the science where people start saying this is crazy. You can do that on your own today. just by talking to ChatGPT. But that's not the point of the conversation, is it? And by the way, you know where this is coming from? This is Scientific America. This is the biggest publisher of scientific articles. This is not some crazy person in their basement blog. So if you want to continue playing weak because you want to tell yourself how you're this weak being, this weakling that I don't know what to do, continue to do so. No problem. Go to the next video, keep on scrolling, get a cheap shot of laugh, and see if that's going to make your life better, because your 95% today as yesterday is going to keep on continuing tomorrow. Therefore, you would experience the same feelings that you are today. Nothing is going to change. As a matter of fact, I want you to understand that it says at the subtitle, the elegant experiments with entangled light have laid bare a profound mystery at the heart of reality. Obviously, they love to write this to intrigue you. But what profound mystery are they talking about? Oh, go back to the line above it. The universe is not locally real, and the physics just proves it. My friends, what this proves, and by the way, these are the studies. You can go and find where. Oh, there they are. John Clauser, Alan Aspect, and Anton Zillinger. They equally split the prize with each other for experience with entangled photons, blah, 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 blah. Because that it doesn't matter how they achieved at their scientific conclusion. To you, it shouldn't matter, because you know why? I don't care how this electricity is made that is allowing me to connect to the Wi-Fi and turn this on and talk to you. I just want this to work, right? You want just the system to work. So then don't worry about the experiments. You could always go back if you're a skeptic and study the science now, which has been proven with, obviously, the Nobel Prize. You could go study it. But I want to have a news flash for you. I've been obsessively studying this stuff for the past 28 years of my life with the science, trying to follow through with the reason and experiments. And I came to the conclusion, after studying the religions of the world and the science of the world and the modern conversations with the AI that is now our assistant every step of the way, that everything comes from the one thing, and the one thing creates everything. There is no separation, and this has nothing to do with religion, because I'm talking purely science, and that is what this study says. That is what this study says, and I want you to be focused on this. What does that mean, bro? How is the world, the local universe, not physically real? Well, it just means Schrodinger did this first, and it just took a while for us to come to a solid conclusion and a collective consciousness of the scientific community kind of rallying behind this belief. This belief, not a disbelief. But essentially what it means is where you put your focus and attention is where reality occurs, aka there are infinite ways that you could focus your attention and infinite ways you could experience reality, aka the reason that we all get to be so unique. So all of us get to experience the same unique life that we call it my life, only because of where we put our focus under the same roof, under the same conditions of growing up. Two different twins, a wife and a husband, have completely distinct experiences, even on a second-to-second basis. I want you to click it out, and I want you to say, I can and I will. Because when you start telling yourself those two sentences, I can and I will, you start taking responsibility. See, responsibility puts a lot of us into fear. However, responsibility is not meaning I gotta take the responsibility for you. It just means responsibility comes from two words, response, able. It just means I am able to respond to something. So am I able to respond to anything around me? Yes, I am. Do I choose to respond to everything around me? No, I don't. But there are always times that on a second-to-second basis, our brain, through those 95% of the subconscious mind's orders and systems and beliefs and modalities and submodalities, chooses what to focus on. And when it chooses what to focus on, that experience suddenly becomes what becomes real, because that's the above Nobel Prize finding, that there is no consensus reality, even in the physical dimension of life, and that everything is absolutely a creation from the perspective that is uniquely interacting with that moment, at that moment, with that object, with that person. Here's how you think about what I just said. If you actually, how many times have you been to a place where a person's walking and they fall down? How many of you have seen these videos? You've seen a video where a person's going, they fall down. This person, who is the cameraman, is still recording, not even flinching. It's as if they were just told to be there to record this. No emotions to actually run and help. Meanwhile, somebody usually runs and helps. Another person is just walking by and they just wait and they're like, what happened? They're still not moving. They're possum. They're just like, what? And you see somebody else maybe laughing in the background over what happened. The same instant of event occurrence, we call it the total reality, the absolute reality, has no meaning to it. The meaning of that reality is created through everybody's unique experience, belief systems, modalities, submodalities, and at that instant, they're not even thinking about it. The brain already knows how it's going to frame what just it witnessed. And that is how the unique life experiences are created, where somebody could be under absolute pressure and they look at that situation as, yes, this is an opportunity for me to grow, for me to just break through to the next level, where most people, the moment there's the first pressure, they want to step back and they're like, oh, no, this is it for me. Thanks so much. I'd rather go and just look at my phone and, just have a sip of my water. This is not for me. Two different perspectives give you two different results. The one that was just beating it and saying, yes, the more I get to face, the more stronger I become. That one is now probably Elon Musk. That one is right now Trump. That one is the great person beside you who's just kicking ass and taking names, and meanwhile we just love to say, oh yeah, that guy's a fucking loser. I don't know who he robbed. I don't know how he got all that money. No. Elon Musk today, just a couple of days ago, was sleeping on the floor at the Doge building because he wanted to be where everybody is doing the auditing as the head of them. And that's exactly what he did when he had to turn Tesla 2 days away from being bankrupt. For 6 months, this guy was sleeping in the building on the floor while people were talking and working for 2 hours. Why was he doing that? Because he wanted to experiment and feel and smell and see the hardship that the people are going through as a true leader to come out with the right solutions. And that's why they hate him, and that's why they want to get him out. Because he's not just like the other people, bureaucrats. I'm not approving of everything he's doing. I'm just putting facts for you so you see what I'm talking about as examples. These not just like the rest of the bureaucrats that will go sit in the office, have their wine, do their backdoor deals, and pay with US aid for their own events and affairs and weddings and bullshit. Because he's not like that, and he's sleeping there. He's saying, I'm going to get to the bottom of this and stop the wastage of the hard-earned tax dollars of every American out there. Because what, you think Elon Musk needs that money? You think if Elon Musk is stopping the wastage of US aid, he's gonna become richer? Man is the richest man on this planet. He doesn't need to work, and his next 10 generations don't need to work a day in their lives. He's literally sleeping on the floor trying to fix the system, which is the most loving act of giving back to humanity is. He's literally putting himself through that hardship. And that's why I want to say, if we have real life heroes, they're the ones that go through the adversities, and they're the ones that, well, that's what every hero story is, isn't it? The Superman, the Spider-Man, they all go through the hardship. The hero is not the strongest person. The hero is the one who goes through the most amount of pain, and yet they find a way to come through. And we are all heroes. You are the hero. I want you to understand this. You are the hero. So don't shy away from facing the adversities with the right focus, with the right meaning that you give it, and just run away from it. Because heroes don't become heroes by running away when there is a problem. Even when they do, what happens? A sidekick shows up, a guru shows up, a teacher shows up, a person who holds them accountable and has been there, done that, already shows them the path. And there are so many of these in our lives. Even if they're not in your life right now, all you need to do is to just get yourself in your mind ready for breakthroughs and change, and ask for the right people to walk into your life to guide you through it, and they will. And for so many of you watching this randomly, this conversation is literally probably why, as a first step. Because you were probably ready. At one point recently, you said, shit, I don't know how to get out of this. You know, nothing happens accidentally. There is no such thing as accidents. You are creating what you want to experience. And I'm not saying there is destiny and all of these things. You're creating that. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Please be aware of how powerful and how empowered you are to create that life, to create the strength, to create the money, to create the wealth, to create the health, to retain those. Obviously, as you see, this is very passionate, and I claim no responsibility, by the way, to anything that I say. Because how you take it is your prerogative. How you receive what I'm offloading, which is literally what is flowing through all of us. So I just do this. This is how I get to be blessed, to be able to be a breakthrough consultant and charge $600 per hour to assist others. It's not by me. And by the way, I didn't make that number up. It always came in the form of payment after results, and they just ended up giving me checks, and I was like, cool, thank you. This comes from the universe, comes from God, comes from whatever you believe in. The energy that creates everything. This is not mine, and no information that I'm giving you is mine, and no information that I'm giving you is new to you, as a matter of fact. Snap it out. You know in your heart of hearts what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Look, there's nothing to sell but your own dream. I'm here advocating for you to take charge of your own dreams with taking charge of your emotional state mastery. This is the most important thing you got to achieve in your life if you want to have a life that is on your terms, rather than you just living life on other people's terms. You got to have absolute emotional mastery. Emotional mastery comes from practice. Just the same way that strength, mastery of your physical body comes with practice. Can you do today what an Olympian does when they're standing on the first? Let's give the plane time to go. Can you today do what an Olympian does when they're standing at the first place in podium? No, you cannot even actually get into that team, let alone be on the first podium. But can you eventually, in 5 years, get there? 100%. Every human has proved that you can. There are so many humans that I know of that were not even athletes, and in 5 years they became crazy athletes and they actually took the medals. See, the thing is, I want you to understand, how did that happen? It happened because they put consistent and unnegotiable efforts through their standards that they just changed. And every day they showed up and they lost and they lost and they lost and they lost and they failed and they failed until one day they didn't. That consistency to show up despite feeling like you're the slowest person on the track field, yet you want to go on a marathon, yet you want to go on a sprint, that discipline comes from emotional mastery. And emotional mastery is so easy to achieve. There are so many teachers in the world teaching it. They just don't teach you that in school. Why do you think they don't teach us that in school? I'm sorry, why do they teach us all the shit they teach us about geography, history, world politics, even stupid levels of science? 99% of what we are taught in school is completely garbage, because all they're trying to do is to discipline you by sitting you there and filling up your attention and time with garbage that's not going to be needed, so that you don't have time to do what we are doing now together. This is the entire intention of schooling system. To create a workforce, which, by the way, the conglomerates and the corporations and governments call the HR department. What does HR stand for? Human resources. Resources is also one department away from being natural resources. So the governments and corporations, they have natural resources departments and human resources departments, which means they are in charge of the resource. We were all raised to be a resource. For what? First of all, what is the definition of a resource? The resource means something that's convertible, expendable, to go from one form into another form, such as gasoline, oils, metal, stones, air, water, money. It's one form of energy and being that you could convert into another form. So essentially, when we have HR departments or human resources departments, they're telling you literally that you're a social security number to the government, that you have a number, and then you are a resource to the society and to the corporation. So now go and exchange your time with money, which is, by the way, why the poor always stay poor. Even if they have 2 full-time jobs, they're still not making it. It's not because they're not putting the effort It's because they don't have the right information to act in the correct way to actually start building wealth and money machines that will bring them freedom of wealth and time. See, the most significant thing that separates the rich from the poor is that the rich trade money to earn back time. That's the primary goal of the rich. The wealthy, the rich, they make money so to buy back their time so they don't have to allocate themselves to any particular time and place for them to be necessary to earn a living, to be able to live, which is why everybody just wants money. You want to essentially live. So when you are at a place of knowing that in order for me to be able to live on my terms, I need to disassociate my physical body and my time from earning a living wage to whatever your standard is, so that I could sustain myself to the standards that I desire to experience life as. When you understand this, then that's your first step of building wealth mastery. Because the first step is you have to understand that you got to do something that, by the way, who are the people already doing this? We'll wait for this one to go as well. When you want to learn something, where do you go to learn? If you want to learn sports, you go to the gym. You want to learn arts, you go to the class. You want to learn math, you go to somebody who knows the math. You want to learn how to build wealth, you have to go to the people that are already wealthy and they're willing to share with you. And are they willing to share for free? Yes, they are. Today on the YouTube, on World Wide Web, there are so many of them. So many of them are trying to sell you something. So many of them are giving you information literally for free on how to build your life and your wealth. What I'm trying to propose and invite you to experience, however, is to go any journey that you want. I'm just bringing these examples to tell you these are excuses. If you want to build emotional mastery, which 99% of planet does not have at all times available to them, otherwise they would not throw a fit and get into a temper tantrum. The way you do it is by showing up to the gym or showing up to the principles that build wealth and keep on failing, but trying, not giving up, until one day you're going to have that glorious moment when you're going to feel like, whoa, something just happened in front of me. And instead of me reacting the way I always did, I'm completely holding myself together. My heartbeat is not even going up. That is where you become God level, because you could literally now create your own life. And I'm not saying it in an egotistical way, because the only way you will be able to get there is by understanding that you are nothing. You're not this big ego that you want to get attention and love of everybody. You are everything. You are a part of this magnificent orchestra symphony of audio and visual vibrations that we call the life and the world around us. We are just one part of that whole thing, and we are a part of that thing, inseparable from the source, because there is no separation, and that anything I'm experiencing is just a reflection of my inner beliefs. And that is exactly what these people, these amazing scientists in 2022 got the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Physics Prize, not Peace Prize. But it is actually a message of peace, this message, because it brings such a depth of information to us that I don't even know how to put this so that everybody understands. I like how Nassim says discipline plus passion. Yes, from YouTube, discipline plus passion is absolutely what's going to bring you on the path of emotional mastery. Because as you saw for you to be able to bring yourself up and bring yourself down, to calm yourself and to excite yourself, to become one with the flow of life through you, that what needs to occur, allow it to just happen, surrender, be accepting of the miracle that you are, and understand that the reason that it all is happening the way it is because we are the miracles. Guys, think about it this way. Just for you to be listening to this, you had to go through millions and billions and millions of odds of surviving, starting with the first moment that the first sperm gets to enter the egg. When that moment happens, there is already hundreds of millions of sperm, and if any other one of them were gonna be getting in, it would probably not be you getting on that seat, brother or sister. It would be another child, another being. It would be very different. So from the first moment that the egg is even, the embryo is created, the miracle has already started. And every step of the way, how from one single cell it duplicates to 2, and then it duplicates to 4, and then it duplicates to 8, and then to 16, and then from that bubble becomes this. Becomes you. All of the adversities, being born in the middle of a war, and then the bomb that's dropping on the house next to you, the accidents that happen right in front of you, how the car could have missed you, how you would have been saved so many times despite the odds being against us. Every time we get in a car in North America, there are odds of 700 in 1 of actually getting into an accident and seriously injured. Yet, how many times have you been injured in your life? Luckily, thank God, I'm so happy you're all healthy, and I hope you are. But think about it, every day that you're surviving is another just miracle. Scientifically, every night when people go to sleep, there is 200,000 people that were not supposed to wake up the next day, wake up the next day, healthy people, they don't wake up. I'm telling you, every night. Between 150,000 to 200,000. That's a number. People go to sleep. Tomorrow, healthy person of all ages, they don't wake up. They call them just sudden death. So when you wake up in the morning, it's already a miracle. It's already, you're born again because your lottery just won. Focus on what it is that you are blessed with, and don't settle for what you have right now. Don't have expectations, because expectations are the complete opposite of being grateful. Being grateful means I am 100% trusting that everything is happening for me, not to me, and now showing up every day doing your best to serve, to grow, to love, to connect. That means being grateful. To do the hard work. I think we've been talking for our 1 hour of today. And I really, really hope that something within this conversation touched a part of you that activates and awakens the highest possibility of you to come back and take charge and be present at all times, to process the information in real time, and don't become the respondent to your external circumstances, rather become the creator of your life, because that's what you're here for, to create the life that you want. And if you're not having it the way you want it, you've done it subconsciously through that 95% on a day-to-day basis. This is your wake-up call. Wake up, take up your own control. There's nothing to sell you here. And then when you do that, then you'll see the magics will start happening right in front of your eyes. It becomes the most magnificent, beautiful thing. I just hope more of humanity gets there quicker, because we all will. It's just at different times. That's when you're living heaven on earth. That's when hell on earth is also here. See, there is no heaven or hell after this. That's the stories that they created from the religious texts. Heaven and hell are here right now. You are living in your own heaven or in your own hell. And this is what the science is saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is not a religious context. Right here, you get to live in your own hell or heaven every instant of every minute. When somebody gets you upset the next moment, remind yourself, I am giving this person the power through my beliefs to control me emotionally. That means they just got to put me in hell. And I okayed that with my approval, that I'm basically running from my subconscious programs at all times. I want you to be aware that you can be absolutely in heaven while you thought you would be in an undesired space. It is your own heaven. You created. This show every day, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, is all about doing the work so that we could grow in our wealth, in our success, in our fulfillment. That's the idea of this. So if this resonates with you, please, the least I ask of you is to like the video and maybe send it to somebody, share it, because you don't know who else needs to hear this and feels like there's nobody that can give me that rope that I need to pull myself out of this abyss, this sand, running sand that I got myself into, that I could easily pull myself out of. They just need a little shake. Everybody just needs a little wake-up call. And absolutely, you know, thanks for the reminder, Nassim says. Of course. See, that's the thing. I'm just reminding you everything you already know. I'm not telling you anything new. I love you. Be well. We're going to speak more about whatever it is that you want. Please message us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is the same as whatever this page is that you're watching this on. And tell me if there's something particular you want more light to be shed on. And we'll explore that. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you guys. Okay? I'm here for you. For you, for you, for you. When you take steps and you create a bridge of communication between me and you, I can best serve you now. So please give yourself that freedom so that you will pursue your highest version of self by allowing yourself to have a direct line of communication with anybody that you feel called and you feel like you're resonating with. Okay, I'm not saying just with me, but reach out and put yourself in proximity of people whom you want to be more of. And don't forget that it's the journey, not the destination, that is the name of the game. The name of the game is the journey. Right now, be happy, be grateful. You're still alive, you're breathing, your heart's beating, and you're a miracle walking. You're a walking miracle. I love you. Be well. My name is Bliss, and until tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you so much.